So I was in Melbourne on holiday this week and filmed a bunch of trams. Like this one. And this one. And, oh look, another. This one was really old. Cool. This video is about a curious venue I also visited in the CBD called Bartronica. Bartronica is a bar, yes, plenty of those in Melbourne, trust me, but it includes the added advantage of arcade machines, pinball machines, and retro consoles. As their slogan goes, tinnies, pinnies, and classic arcade. Sounds good, so let's head down the stairs as it is situated, like all classic arcades, in a basement. I should note that we did visit early evening on a Wednesday. This is why it appears a bit empty in this footage, but I'm sure it pops off on the weekend. Fine if that's the vibe you're going for, but it was great to not have to share the venue with many others. I didn't have to wait to play a single game during my visit. Since I was there in a group, we hired a booth. There is a range of these throughout the venue in different configurations. Ours included an N64 with Mario Kart and 4 controllers ready to go. The screen we played on was large, although it was a flat screen of some type, possibly a plasma. To my eye, it doesn't look like they're using any scan line doubling to improve the picture. This is more than likely nitpicky on my behalf, but since it is so easy to radically improve the image on flat screens these days, I don't see why they just don't do it. But then again, I guess the average bargoer simply wouldn't care. There was a variety of games available to swap over to. As you can imagine, most were multiplayer based, and included the likes of Smash, Wave Race, GoldenEye, and Bomberman 64. The exception to the rule, almost unbelievably, was Conker's Bad Fur Day. Evidently, cocktail sales have been strong going to fund that. It appears we only had access to the N64 and its games for that booking, but I've seen photos of SNESes and Mega Drives online. I also spotted a GameCube hooked up and ready to go with Mario Kart Double Dash playable for free, but otherwise I didn't see any more consoles. It cost $30 per head for the booth booking. This forms a bar tab, of which I didn't get a chance to enjoy any of. Thanks, Jared. Speaking of Jared, you might enjoy the tattoo he got on this trip. It is, of course, a highly detailed illustration of the Leviathan axe from the God of War series. Like and subscribe if you like Jared's tattoo. Otherwise, like and subscribe if you don't. Speaking of the drinks, there is a fairly basic cocktail selection, all named after video games and other pop culture. As far as the bar of quality goes for Melbourne, let's just say they're priced accordingly. But they're not going to be the reason for a visit to this bar. Personally, I got on the beers while gaming. There is also food available, which is of the bar snack variety. I forgot to take a photo of the menu, and we had a booking to eat elsewhere that evening, but there is a menu on their Facebook page. It's dated to 2016, so it may currently differ, but offers the likes of nachos and hot dogs. As for the arcade machines themselves, the selection isn't the largest I've ever seen, but it's certainly curated so classics from all genres are represented. Personally, Tetris and GLI Club were my favourites to play. Nothing too special, but a nice novelty since I've never come across these machines. Most venues I've visited like this use a pay pass-like situation. There will be a touchscreen retrofitted onto the coin door and you can preload a card with cash. Instead, here they use a more classic solution in the form of a token machine. Fortunately, this does accept card payment for the cashless among us. The PayPass touchscreen was a bit glitchy, however. I pushed the $5 option and it registered as $20 instead. Oh well, I guess. Considering how much I did play, that would have been spent sooner or later anyway. Games were either 1 or 2 tokens a play. I'll leave it up to you if you think there's value in that. Otherwise, there is a rather large outdoor area for the chimneys of the world that includes a few more cabs for a more authentic old school experience. Overall, Bartronica goes for the vibes of the olden golden days and hits the nail right on the head. I love that it's situated in a basement for one. It's fairly dark too, with the environment mostly illuminated by the neons of the arcades and pinball machines, while the whole venue rings with the sounds they use to compete for your attention. I would say that the one missing variable from the 80s on my visit was the stench of cigarette smoke. Reading reviews online, however, it appears that does happen since the outdoor area is so large and the doors are wide open. As I said, it was quiet on my visit, so the smokers area was empty, but it is something to consider if you visit while busy. Otherwise, just about everything was operating and in good working order. I only spotted 1 or 2 machines that were out of commission. A shout out must go to the bar staff too. They were super accommodating during our visit. And no, they didn't know who I was or that I was making a video. Bartronica can be found on the basement level of 355 Flinders Lane in the Melbourne CBD. It's closed Mondays, but opens at 2 or 3 PM every other day until late. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
You or what?
No, just not very many people wanted to do that. So we're doing classes for like 12 people, and they're all like 18 students. Like they're
Got it.